Everyone who knows the Angel Hill in Bury St Edmunds will be familiar with the Athenaeum building. It stands in a commanding position overlooking the hill. A number of buildings have stood on this site over the centuries, but it took its present form in 1789. Prior to this, it was known as the White House and had 3 stories. It was rebuilt in 1789 with 2 stories, at which point it was renamed the New Assembly Rooms. It was acquired by local banker James Oakes, who, leading a consortium of 12 men, initiated extensive improvements. They were financed by subscription, which is why the building became known as the Subscription Rooms. The Bury and West Suffolk Archaeological Society joined with the Athenaeum in 1853 and became known as the Suffolk Institute of Archaeology and Natural History. The Athenaeum Literary Institute acquired the building in 1854, from which it takes its present name, Athenaeum meaning an institution for literary or scientific study. Lectures and literary readings were presented by the Athenaeum, including visits by Charles Dickens, who on one of his visits read from his novel David Copperfield. In 1858, George Biddle Airy, the then Astronomer Royal, came to give a talk. His visit coincided with the appearance of a very bright comet, and Biddle Airy's talk was very well attended. He anticipated his audience's interest by saying, "I suppose you want to know about the comet." In those days, little was known about comets, and Biddle Airy said so. The astronomy interest was such that an astronomy group was formed. Lord Harvey, who headed the Athenaeum, working in partnership with Biddle Airy, built an astronomical observatory complete with telescope, which still sits above the Athenaeum building today. This beautiful time capsule of a Victorian astronomical observatory has fallen into disuse, but now a new astronomy group has been formed, the Athenaeum Astronomy Association, and it is their intention to restore the observatory to its former glory. Inside the Athenaeum, on the first floor landing, is a door leading to the stairs which give access to the observatory. Guarding the door is a picture of George Biddle Airy together with a framed information sheet about Biddle Airy and the observatory. Halfway up the staircase leading to the observatory is a landing. The view from the landing looking down the lower staircase shows some of the timber frame of the original building. One of the first jobs in the restoration project will be to improve the access route to the observatory. This is the view from the landing looking up. The second flight of stairs curves round the inside of the observatory. Note that a new handrail has already been fitted. The observatory itself is accessed via a trapdoor in the floor of the dome. So far nothing has been moved, so posters used by the last astronomers in the observatory are still on view. The hatch, giving a view over Angel Hill, allows light into the observatory and permits the telescope to access the sky. Work needs to be done on the hatch so that it is secure when it is in the open position. This is a view of the telescope against the background of the woodwork that makes up the inside of the dome. The woodwork seems in good condition but needs assessing by an expert. The telescope collects light through a 4-inch lens. It is fitted to a pillar by an arrangement known as an equatorial mount. This is designed so that the telescope can follow a star, keeping it in view while the Earth turns. A view from the other side of the dome shows a smaller telescope mounted on the side of the main instrument. This is known as a finder scope and helps to point the main instrument at the required object in the sky. The circular light at the bottom centre of the picture is a navigation port. The dome can be turned by pushing the wooden structure at the base of the dome. The navigation port helps to identify the direction that the opening hatch is facing. When we look at the night sky, we experience the illusion that we are standing at the centre of a large sphere and that the stars are all the same distance and are fixed to the inside of the sphere. This illusion allows us to plot the positions of the stars using a system similar to the way in which we use latitude and longitude to locate a position on the sphere of the Earth. The circles that you see here are used to point the telescope at a star using its unique coordinates, which can be found in star atlases. The mechanisms here need attention as the links that move the telescope to follow the stars are broken. The magnifying glass at the centre of this picture helps to see the small divisions on the setting circles. These use what is known as a vernier scale, which help us to fine-tune the direction that the telescope is pointing. This is the telescope's drive. A large lead weight is attached to the cord, which causes the rod on the left of the picture to turn at a controlled rate and so move the telescope to counteract the apparent motion of the stars caused by the Earth's rotation. These are the eyepieces for the telescope. They enable us to change the magnification that the telescope is using. Here is a view of Angel Hill from the observatory. The red brick building at the far end of the square used to house the Gershom-Partington Clock Museum. On the corner of the building is a security camera which appears as a small white dot, level with the centre glazing bar of the narrow first floor window. Here is a view of the camera through the telescope. We hope you have enjoyed this presentation. If you would like further information, please visit our website, follow us on social media or email us using the details shown.